Have you ever wondered why certain truths never reach the public? Why the most important information about reality is absent from every school, every institution, every authority that claims to educate you? The reason is simple and far older than modern society. The deepest knowledge on this planet was never meant for everyone. It was reserved for a select few who understood that information is power, and that the greatest power of all is not money, not armies, not influence. It is understanding how reality itself works. The knowledge that shapes perception. The knowledge that shapes possibility. The knowledge that shapes the world. Hidden knowledge has always existed, not because it cannot be understood, but because it would dismantle the systems built on ignorance. Those who hold this knowledge guard it not out of wisdom, but out of fear. Fear that if the masses ever understood the mechanics of consciousness, the architecture of perception, the laws that govern manifestation, the illusions of authority would dissolve instantly. Society doesn't run on obedience. It runs on people believing they are powerless. And nothing destroys that illusion faster than the realization that consciousness at its core is the engine of reality. The word hidden does not mean locked away. It means overlooked. It means disguised. It means buried beneath layers of distraction so thick that most people never even realize something is missing. Hidden knowledge was never about secrecy. It was about misdirection. The elite never had to hide the truth. They only needed to keep you occupied with everything that wasn't true. Endless entertainment, constant noise, manufactured conflicts, shallow narratives. The human mind is programmable, not by force, but by attention. Whatever captures your attention shapes your perception. And whatever shapes your perception shapes your reality. This is the principle they understand. This is the principle you were never taught. Esoteric simply means inner. Exoteric means outer. Society feeds the outer world information to the masses. Surface-level explanations, incomplete stories, symbolic fragments. Meanwhile, the inner information, the blueprint of consciousness, the mechanics of thought, the nature of energy, the relationship between mind and matter, is passed quietly through bloodlines, secret groups, closed circles. The goal was never enlightenment. The goal was control. When a population is taught only materialism, only physical cause and effect, only surface logic, they become predictable. They become manageable. They never question why their lives feel small, why their potential feels distant, why reality seems indifferent to their desires. They never realize that reality is not indifferent. It is interactive. It responds to the observer. It responds to the internal state. It responds to the invisible architecture of consciousness. This is what hidden knowledge reveals. The universe is not external. It is a mirror. It reflects the frequency of your internal world. It responds to what you are, not what you pretend to be. And those who understand this do not live in the same world as those who do not. They live in a reality that bends, a reality that responds, a reality that yields to the power of internal coherence.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
For thousands of years, the most powerful individuals on this planet have understood the same truth. Consciousness shapes the field. Thought is not passive. Emotion is not random. Attention is not trivial. These three expressions of consciousness, thought, emotion, and action, form the interface between your inner world and the fabric of existence. They are not merely experiences, they are instruments of creation. Thought shapes perception. It defines the lens through which you interpret experience. It determines what possibilities you allow yourself to see, what opportunities you recognize, what threats you imagine, what limits you accept. A thought is not just a mental event. It is a frequency. It carries structure. It creates pathways. It organizes your personal timeline. When people think small, their reality becomes small. When people think expansively, the world expands with them. This is why societies keep people mentally confined, because a mind that realizes its capacity becomes impossible to control. Emotion provides energy. It is the intensity behind the thought. Emotion gives thought power, weight, gravity. It signals to the universe. This matters. What you fear, you energize. What you desire, you magnetize. What you resist, you amplify. Emotion is not weakness. Emotion is the language of the field. It is the energetic signature that tells reality how deeply a thought resonates within you. This is why society trains people to suppress emotion, to disconnect from feeling. A population numb to its own emotional field is a population disconnected from power. Action anchors internal frequency into physical reality. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Action is consciousness taking form. It is the moment the internal becomes external. Action without aligned thought is empty. Action without aligned emotion is unsustainable. But when thought, emotion, and action align, reality begins to reorganize around you. This is not metaphor. This is mechanics. For centuries, the elite have understood these principles. They built systems to keep your mind distracted, your emotions unstable, and your actions misaligned. Because when these three expressions of consciousness are fragmented, the human being becomes predictable. And predictable humans are easy to govern. But here is the shift unfolding right now. People are beginning to sense that something is off. Millions are waking up to the cracks in the narrative. They see through the illusions. They feel reality responding differently. They feel their internal world shaping the external more directly than before. This is not imagination. This is the field changing. Consciousness is rising. The architecture of reality is becoming more responsive. The veil between the inner and outer world is thinning. The elite sense this too. The acceleration of information, the collapse of old systems, the exposure of hidden structures. This is the reaction of a power hierarchy losing its grip. They can no longer rely on ignorance. They can no longer rely on distraction. They can no longer rely on silence. Knowledge that once required initiation is spreading organically through intuition. People are remembering what they were never taught. The universal laws at the core of hidden knowledge do not operate like man-made rules. They are embedded into the structure of existence. They govern everything from quantum particles to human consciousness. These laws are not beliefs. They are mechanisms. They do not care about culture or ideology. They do not require permission. They operate whether you know them or not. One of these laws is the principle of resonance. Everything vibrates. Everything emits frequency. And frequencies organize reality. Thought is resonance. Emotion is resonance. Physical states are resonance. When your inner frequency shifts, your outer world rearranges to match it. Another law is the principle of correspondence. The inner world and outer world reflect one another. Patterns within your mind mirror patterns in your environment. People you attract reflect states within you. Challenges you face reveal unseen internal structures. Synchronicities signal alignment. This is not mystical. This is structural. Then there is the law of unity. Everything in existence is interconnected. Consciousness is not individual. It is a field. Your mind is a point of focus within a larger intelligence. When your awareness expands, you begin to sense this interconnection. You see patterns where others see coincidence. You understand meaning where others see randomness. You witness the world responding to your internal shifts. The universe is not separate from you. It is interacting with you constantly. To apply these laws, consciousness must develop. Consciousness is the ability to perceive patterns in both the inner and outer worlds. It is the awareness that sees beyond the surface of events, the sensitivity that picks up on the deeper mechanics underneath experience. Consciousness is not intelligence. It is not knowledge. It is clarity. It is the capacity to see without distortion. As consciousness develops, your perception expands. You begin noticing the architecture behind experience, why certain patterns repeat in your life, why certain emotions follow specific thoughts, why specific situations appear at pivotal moments, why the universe seems to guide, mirror, challenge, or accelerate your evolution. You begin to see reality as a conversation, not a sequence of accidents. The more consciousness you cultivate, the more clearly you understand the mechanics behind your own life. You become aware of the limiting thoughts shaping your reality. You recognize the emotional patterns conditioning your perception. You see the habitual actions that reinforce old timelines. And once these patterns become visible, they become changeable. Awareness is the first step of transformation. But here is the challenge. The world is designed to keep you unconscious. Endless stimulation fragments attention. Emotional chaos destabilizes internal energy. Hyperproductivity dulls intuition. Distraction becomes a lifestyle. In such an environment, few ever turn inward long enough to discover the deeper layers of themselves. The path to hidden knowledge is not blocked. It is buried. Yet the moment you choose awareness, the game changes. You begin to question the narratives fed to you. You begin to sense the deeper truths beneath superficial explanations. You begin to feel that reality is not fixed, but fluid, responding to your internal shifts, reflecting your internal states, shaping itself around your consciousness. This recognition is the beginning of mastery. Once you understand that your thoughts generate patterns, your emotions charge experiences, and your actions anchor timelines, you stop living reactively. You stop waiting for permission. You stop accepting the world as it is, and begin shaping the world as it responds. This is the true danger of hidden knowledge. It liberates. It breaks dependency. It dissolves illusion. It empowers individuals to become architects of their own reality. And a population capable of conscious creation is a population that cannot be controlled. The question is not whether hidden knowledge exists. The question is whether you will seek it, whether you will develop the consciousness required to recognize patterns, whether you will master your inner world so fully that the external world begins to reflect your intentionality, whether you will rise beyond the distractions designed to keep you asleep. Reality is not something happening to you. Reality is something interacting with you. The universe does not respond to who you pretend to be. It responds to who you are. Your frequency, your awareness, your alignment. Once you realize this, you stop being a spectator. You become a participant, a co-creator, an architect of your own existence. I wish you all the best. And until next time.